Hi everyone and welcome to episode 49 of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have Sammi Bennett who's with me, who is a marketing automation specialist at TAFE Queensland. Welcome Sammi, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good. So it's been, when did you graduate? It was, wasn't
Last
that
year
long
I
ago?
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last year. And so what have you been doing? You were telling me you worked for TAFE Queensland throughout your degree. So
Yes.
didn't you? So what sort of roles were you doing in that space while you were studying?
I didn't know what I wanted to do after school. And I was working casually in hospitality at the time. And then the opportunity came up to do a traineeship at TAFE Queensland, in the hospitality team. So I thought might as well jump at that opportunity for 12 months. And then I worked alongside the marketing team with events throughout my traineeship and thought that marketing was potentially a career path that I wanted to go down. So I applied for uni at the end of my traineeship and then got a admin role in the HR team at TAFE Queensland at that point in time. So I started my degree, and then once I did my intro to marketing subject, I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. So that was the path that I wanted to head down. And then an opportunity actually came up in the marketing team as their admin, sort of 8 months later, and I just jumped at that opportunity and took it. And then sort of halfway through my degree, opportunity came up in the marketing team as a marketing officer. So I acted in that role for a couple of months before actually going through the application process and being successful at obtaining that role. And then just recently started a role as a marketing automation specialist, still at TAFE Queensland. So I've had quite a wide variety of roles throughout my degree, but I just love working for TAFE. It's just been amazing.
That's fantastic. And so what do you think set you apart from other people going for those roles, particularly in the marketing team?
I think attitude is probably one of the main things. Like working for TAFE, I've always shown an interest in the direction of the business and where we were heading and all the other different areas. And I think the more knowledge that you have in a business certainly helps you progress further. And, building those relationships with people. And that's certainly what has helped my career progression at TAFE.
And because we were discussing you were working full-time and studying mainly online while you were working full-time. So
yeah.
we have a number of students in that situation now. And as I was saying, I did that for a long time myself, and it's tough, like working full-time and studying. So how did you juggle both of those things and still manage to sleep?
There was plenty of late nights, but it was hard. Like, I wouldn't say it was easy, but I just had that end goal of I really want to finish my degree, and that's sort of what kept me motivated. But sort of I learnt as I went on how to be strategic in the course content and what I needed to know and how to figure out what I needed to know for the assessments and what I needed to do to pass them. So I think it got easier as it went along. But it was certainly, doing uni on weekends, doing it at night, but small sacrifice for long-term gain.
Absolutely. And so tell me, what has been some of the best career advice that you've been given?
So I think this is a really big question. I think you receive a lot of career advice through different stages of your career and you resonate with certain things at certain points in time. But one of the best bits of advice I've been given is that the only limits that you have in your career are the ones that you set for yourself. So if you're thinking to yourself, you're never going to finish uni or you're never going to get that job because you're not good enough, then that's the limit that you're setting for yourself. So I think that's your self-talk and how you, like, where you want to go and, thinking that you can achieve that is really important.
Absolutely. Who was it? I think it was Henry Ford who said, what is it? Either you think you can or if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I never thought I would be where I am 4 years ago, but you know, I think it's just embracing the opportunities that you get. And if you think, yeah, like I'm ready for that job, I'm going to apply for it, then that's yeah, I think it's all up to you where you end up in your career.
Absolutely. And so tell me, because you were working as well as studying, but what has been some of the things you learned at university that's really helped you out in the workforce?
Public speaking is probably one of the main ones. I think in most of my subjects, I had to do a presentation at some point, and public speaking is something that in the marketing industry, you have to do quite a lot, whether it's presenting to executive or presenting to your marketing team on something that you want to do, or a campaign, or whatever it is. I used to just read off palm cards at the start of my degree, scripted everything, and then towards the end of it, I would just speak off the slides. And that is a skill that uni really, really helped me with, because I didn't really have much of a choice. I had to present. And then researching and reporting, you do a lot of that. Uni pretty much is that. So, you know, I will research a new marketing platform or a new social media trend, and then report back on that in my job to my manager or to my team, and think like that is something that uni certainly helped. You know, it helped me develop in that space.
And what's something that you wish you'd learned at uni that you've needed when you've been out in the workforce?
I think some of the subjects I did had very little practical components. Like your social media subjects that I did, I got to work with a client and develop a social media strategy for a real business, which was really, really valuable, because you could apply what you were learning and the theories you were learning into practice in an assignment, which was really valuable. But some of my other subjects, I didn't get that opportunity. And I think if you have the ability to apply what you learn into a real context and not just, you know, a research report, then that certainly helped me understand the course content and what the theories and everything that you were learning, that some subjects just didn't sort of allow.
Yeah. And, you know, and I guess that's what I try and do with the courses is I think theory is important, but I think it makes much more sense when you can see how it works in reality.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And because you're sort of working, like, tell me more about your job now. So you're an automation specialist, but do you do much with social media now in your current role?
Not so much in my current role. In my previous role, I was creating content for my region and for statewide social media platforms. But now it's more personalization and integrating different marketing platforms, and how it can like help the customer experience through automation. So that's something I got exposed to in my previous role, and I took a real liking to it. And then obviously this job came up, so I just jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, it sounds really fascinating. And I mean, personalization, it's so important in sort of building that relationship with the customer and making them feel like you understand them, and that you're speaking to them, not to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And so even though you're not working directly with social media now, and you know it changes all the time, have you learned anything in the last couple of weeks around social media, or even, you know, it can even be about, you know, automation, marketing automation, that you can share with us? Just something that you found interesting. It could be a platform change or just a piece of information.
Yeah, I thought of an example. We have this new advanced engineering course that we offer, and we actually ran a really targeted social media ad, which ended up filling the course.
Yeah, wow.
So it was very little marketing activity that went on other than social media promotion, but it actually, because it was so targeted, filled the course.
Yeah.
So I found that really, really interesting, just from a marketing point of view, that had the power to make someone make
that. And so and how did that come about? Did you just really do thorough research into the audience and what their sort of pain points were? And
so we targeted students that had previously completed a certificate, like a lower qualification with us, and then, upsold the higher qualification. And it's such a trending, advanced manufacturing is very much trending at the minute, and part of the jobs of the future. So it was targeting those people, and obviously we know that they're, that age group is sort of on social media.
Yeah.
So it was just really effective, and I thought it was just interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I think that's fantastic. And maybe, a lot of other learning institutions could take note of that approach, because it would, it would be very effective. Can you also tell me advice that you would give to current students and emerging professionals about how they could succeed in their careers?
This is a big one for me personally, but it's owning your own professional development. I think working in the digital world and digital marketing and social media, algorithms are constantly changing, the technology is constantly changing, the platforms are changing, there's new stuff popping up all the time. So making sure you're on the front foot with all these changes or the new technologies, I think that's really, really important. And I'm constantly learning new things in my every day, pretty much. And your attitude, I think, sometimes we have days at work where we're like, oh, why are we doing this? Or but it's your attitude, and I'm doing this for the greater good of the organization. And I think doing something that you're passionate in. So I'm very passionate about education, and I see the amazing outcomes of TAFE Queensland students every day in my job, and that's what lights my fire at work, pretty much. And then always looking for that continuous improvement in everything you do. Like, take the learnings, even if a campaign wasn't as successful as you thought it was. Why was that? How can you improve it for next time? I think that's really important as a professional as well.
Yeah, that's great advice. So like every experience is a learning experience, isn't it? To keep it's all how you use that knowledge. Yes, I think you're completely right there. And the most important question of the whole show is, who do you like, share, and follow?
This is an interesting one. I'm very much who I follow on social media changes all the time. But I love following brands that have a bit of personality on social media. They're replying to people's comments, or they're cracking a joke. I really resonate with that from brands, because it just brings in that human element to a company on social media. My social media feeds generally reflect what I'm into at the time. So a while ago it was travel and photography, and now it's sort of interior design, and I follow a lot of stylist pages, and then there's influencers as well. I think that's it's a tough one for me. I went through a bit of a cull a couple of years ago on following influencers, and then have sort of clean slate. I only now follow influencers that push like they're genuine and they push a positive message to me. And I think influencer marketing is certainly a really good tool for some companies, but I'm very picky with who I follow on social media. And I think maintaining that healthy relationship with social media is really important. If I'm scrolling through my feed and not feeling good about myself or where I'm at in life, then I know that, okay, I think I need to reevaluate who I'm following right now.
Absolutely. And again, that's also
healthy.
about taking charge of your own experience as well, isn't it? And that's what, that's how you need to approach social media. It's not rather than sitting there being passive, like actually take control of your own consumption.
Yeah, for sure. And I think social media is just such a big part of our lives now. And you just need to have that healthy relationship. I think we sort of went too far once the other way, where people weren't having, they didn't have a healthy relationship with social media. So it's sort of coming back to having that healthy mindset and using, like, it's a good experience to be on social media.
Yeah, totally. And who do you think are some of the best brands that, when they respond to customers and comments, who do you think does it really well?
QPS is a big one, and Queensland Fire and Emergency Services as well. I think they have struck the perfect balance of pushing out serious crisis messaging, but when the time's right, being fun and cracking a joke and bantering between the states. And I really love that. Another one is, because I'm a big AFL fan, so 7AFL. I really love their content, and they reply to a lot of people's comments, and we'll throw the grenade in the conversation and then just let people go off in the comments. I really like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's about showing your personality, because it is social, and not being that cold corporate face. Like, then that's how you build relationships, isn't it? And with you.
Yeah, and I think that's what the people that follow them are going, oh yeah, they're funny. I really want to follow them, or they feel more connected to the brand or the company on social media because they have those interactions with them. So
yeah. Well, that sort of brings us to the end of our chat. So do you have any final words that you'd like to share with people watching?
Not really, other than thank you for having me on.
That's okay.
I was very honoured.
Oh, well, no, thanks for coming on. And we've got Anthony Roberto's left a couple of comments. So he said, greetings to me and you. He's in Melbourne. I hope everything's all right down there in Melbourne at the moment. And he said, Sammi, with so many demonstrable qualities and skills, I can't speak this evening, it's been a long day, and with your attitude, initiative and determination, your career is destined to grow to extraordinary levels. So,
thank you.
Yeah, so on that note, we'll leave it there. And thanks again, Sammi. I'll leave it on the high. And I'm taking a break next week, so I'll have next Wednesday off, and then it will be doing episode 50 with Kirsty O'Callaghan, who is I know that I'm halfway through the project. So with Kirsty O'Callaghan. Yeah. So, and Kirsty, she does social media management, but she's decided to continue her education and is doing honours this year. So, so that would be interesting to talk to her and see how she's applying her social media skills as well. So thank you so much to everyone for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks. Thanks, Sammi.
Thank you.